Hey, it's NFL SnapWire, bringing you the latest and most dramatic updates from around the league. Let's dive into the Bryce Young incident and the NFL's punishment decision following the Panthers' Week 15 loss to the Saints. The Carolina Panthers were riding a wave of momentum after taking down the Los Angeles Rams, feeling poised for a late-season surge. But one misstep against the New Orleans Saints changed everything, and it's not just the scoreboard that's feeling the impact. Now, the NFL has stepped in with a punishment that has everyone talking. On Saturday, the league announced that Panthers offensive tackle Ikem Ekwonu was fined $11,593 for unnecessary roughness. The fine stemmed from a late-game sequence that ignited tensions between Carolina and New Orleans. The play in question occurred near the sideline when Saints defensive end Cam Jordan delivered contact on quarterback Bryce Young. Ekwonu, protecting his quarterback, reacted after Jordan had already moved out of bounds. He grabbed Jordan and jostled him, a move flagged by officials, resulting in a penalty against Carolina. Jordan, on the other hand, walked away without a call. The NFL's decision highlighted the league's zero-tolerance stance on retaliation, even if it's provoked. What made the incident more contentious, however, was the aftermath. Jordan didn't let the moment die quietly. He posted a clip online, adding fuel to the fire. "The play the slovenly fella took a cheap shot at me like a confused rhino in heat," Jordan wrote on X, after reviewing, 1, walked him down, pushed Bryce Young out of bounds while he was where? In bounds. Clearly, the Saints star was not holding back. Ekwonu faced the media after the game and offered his perspective on the situation, emphasizing both his loyalty to his quarterback and the importance of playing smart. "I feel like it's a pretty simple thing in the league, you know," Ekwonu said to Carolina Blitz. "If a guy hits your quarterback late out of bounds, there's retaliation involved. I'm not talking about the refereeing, but I was a little surprised there wasn't a flag for a late hit. At the end of the day, I have to be smarter. I don't want to negatively impact my team. I want to defend my guys to the highest capability I can, but I don't want to stall the drive like I did there. I've got to own that." Ekwonu's words reflect a tough balance players constantly face, protecting teammates while avoiding penalties that can cost their team. The Week 15 showdown between Carolina and New Orleans was more than just a battle for NFC South pride. It was a display of resilience, strategy, and high-stakes drama. The Saints pulled off a dramatic 20-17 win, sealed by Charlie Smith's 47-yard kick with only 2 seconds left on the clock. That kick gave New Orleans a season sweep over the Panthers and added another layer of tension to the NFC South standings. Before that last-second heroics, the Saints had to mount a late comeback. Enter rookie quarterback Tyler Shaw. Calm under pressure, Shaw guided the offense down the field, connecting with Chris Olave for a tying score. Devin Neal had earlier scored a short rushing touchdown, keeping the Saints within striking distance. This late-game push ultimately flipped the momentum, silencing Panther Nation and highlighting the fine margins in NFL competition. The NFL's involvement didn't stop with Ekwonu's fine. Following the game, the league released its Week 15 fines list, and the Saints led the pack in disciplinary action. 3 New Orleans players received fines for on-field conduct. Kelvin Banks, offensive tackle, fined $11,593 for taunting in the third quarter. Danny Stutzman, linebacker, fined $6,095 for unnecessary helmet use. Devin Neal, running back, fined $5,015 for a violent gesture. No other team had more than 2 players fined that week, showcasing New Orleans' intensity and the NFL's firm response to maintain control. The Panthers also faced additional fines. Cornerback Michael Jackson was hit with a $20,611 fine for unnecessary roughness and helmet use on Chris Olave with 7:44 left in the fourth quarter. Interestingly, officials didn't flag the play during the game, but the league made it clear afterward that such actions would not go unchecked. The fines illustrate the NFL's broader approach to player safety and sportsmanship. In today's game, late hits, retaliation, and helmet violations are under increased scrutiny. Players must balance aggression with discipline, and teams face financial and competitive consequences for lapses. For Carolina, this week serves as both a wake-up call and a learning moment. The Panthers had a chance to build momentum, but costly penalties and a narrow loss highlight areas for growth, especially in protecting Bryce Young and maintaining composure in high-pressure moments. For the Saints, the story is more complex. While they celebrated a thrilling victory, multiple fines serve as a reminder that emotional intensity can lead to off-field consequences. Even in moments of triumph, the league keeps a watchful eye, ensuring actions on the field align with rules designed to protect players and the integrity of the game. Ekwonu's reaction and willingness to own his mistake underscore an essential theme in professional sports: accountability. Even elite athletes must acknowledge when emotion overrules strategy, particularly in a league as fast-paced and high-stakes as the NFL. Bryce Young, still early in his career, relies heavily on his offensive line. Protecting the quarterback is paramount, but the incident reminds everyone that retaliation, even if understandable, carries consequences that can directly affect a team's playoff push. Meanwhile, the Saints' defensive unit, led by veterans like Cam Jordan, continues to play with aggression, but fines remind players that crossing the line isn't tolerated. The NFL's disciplinary measures balance deterrence with fairness, aiming to prevent repeat offenses while letting the game retain its physical edge. Looking ahead, the Panthers will need to reinforce discipline and situational awareness, especially in tight games against division rivals. Fines like Ekwonu's can act as teaching moments, helping young stars like Bryce Young navigate the league's competitive environment. The Saints, despite the fines, can take pride in their resilience and ability to close out games under pressure. However, repeated penalties could accumulate, affecting both team morale and financial resources. Ultimately, Week 15 highlights a fundamental truth about the NFL: talent alone isn't enough. Teams must master emotional control, strategic execution, and awareness of the league's rules, because the margin between victory and defeat is razor-thin. The Bryce Young incident and the subsequent fines underscore just how high-stakes NFL football can be. Retaliation, aggressive play, and split-second decisions can have consequences far beyond the scoreboard, impacting both team performance and the league's financial accountability. For the Panthers, it's a moment to recalibrate. For the Saints, it's a reminder that even victories come with costs. That's all for now on this developing story. Stay tuned to NFL SnapWire for more updates, analysis, and breaking news from around the league.